Please don't skip the advertisement for me. Your full commotion watchings motivates me to continue this series. Thank you. Hello, it is me, Dexter. So let's start the unit 2, which is the family. So family, every country, the family is important. So when I prepare this unit, I thought about my Korean family. So as I load in here, it is just my personal opinion that the Koreans focusing more on laws than person itself. So in the family, usually meant to be a son and husband. So in the Western culture, they say just name. So in Korea, it is impossible when I call my mother or father their name. It is impossible thing. So we want focusing more on one's law in the family rather than person itself. So the lesson goal of this unit is 한국 가족 형태의 변화와 가족 문화의 특징을 설명할 수 있다. So students will be able to explain the change, transition in family types and family cultures features. So here, one important thing is the family type. 확대 가족, 핵가족. So 확대 가족 is extended, big family. And 핵가족, 핵 is nuclear, so small family. And nowadays, we are using much vocabulary of 1인 가구. 1 is a one, 인 is a person, so one person family. So 확대가족, 핵가족, 1인 가족. Those three things is you should remember. And second object is 한국사회의 가족 및 친척 관계와 호칭을 설명할 수 있다. So 호칭 is how we call. So in the Western culture, you guys just call one's name. Hey David, hey Dexter, something like that. But we need to say hey cousin or 4 kinship cousin, 5 kinship cousin, something like that. So 호칭 is, even if to me, I don't know sometimes. So but we need to know for the test. It means that simply we need to discuss how we call the family members. Okay? So key point is on your test, at least to prepare your test, you should know the blank of this one. So before we start, let's quickly skimming of this key point. 과거에는 결혼 후에도 부모와 같이 사는 경우가 많아. So 과거, in the past, 결혼 후, after marriage, parents with living together with the parents, even if they married. 여러 세대, many generation family가 같이 모여 사는 living together is maybe 확대 가족. 확대 is extended, and here blah blah year after blah blah. So usually in here is industrialization. So 산업화 이후로 blah blah나 blah blah를 위해 for maybe getting a job or I'm not sure about the blank 위해 부모와 떨어져 separate from parents 생활하는 자녀들 so kids, offspring이 많아졌으면 there's increase the kids who are separate from parents 결혼한 이후에 after marriage 부모와 함께 사는 경우도 living together with the parents도 크게 drastically decrease 줄어들어 요즘은 nowadays 대부분 핵가족 형태 핵 so 확대 가족 is extended family grandparents parents son and their kids together is a 확대 가족 but nowadays a cell so nuclear so nucleus family so 핵가족 핵 is nuclear in the North Korea. So anyway, so it maybe is 핵가족 and 친척을 어떻게 부를까? How we call 한국에서는 가족과 친척을 the family and the relationship we call it 촌수. 촌 is kinship, 수 is number. So we counting the number of kinship. That is 촌수. 남편과 아내, husband and wife는 촌수를 따지지 않는다. There is no counting between wife and husband. Because on our textbook, they say equal relationship. It might be, but what I learned when I was elementary school and middle school, because the husband and wife, in case of they divorce, so they could be another person, so they don't counting on kinship. 부모와 자녀, 일촌, 형제자매, sibling, brothers are 이촌이다. 형제자매의 자녀, my brother's son and my sons, they are 1, 2. So my brother is a 2 이촌 and my brother's son is 3촌 and my son is 1촌. So put together as 4촌. So it's complicated. So if you don't know, it is okay. We are going to learning about it. So are you ready? So let's start learning or explore about the Korean family cultures.
Do you understand the word?
So on this unit, we are going to dealing with 4 parts. The first one is family types changing, transition of family types from big family to the small family. And second one is a family culture's characteristic. So what is the characteristic of Korean family cultures? I don't know. Maybe my family is focusing more on one's personality rather than as a family, but yeah, let's deal with it. And the third one is how we call family member. So it's complicated. And the fourth one is degree of kinship, how we calculating the kinship of my sibling and sibling's daughter, something like that, or my father's sibling brother, something like that. So but don't be worry about it. So I will take it as simple as possible for our test. So after you getting a visa or Korean citizenship or naturalization, it's your job. You can do it. But what I want to do as my job is let's prepare for the test matters. So the one is family types change. The reason is because 결혼하는 연령이 점점 높아지고 있다. The age of getting married is late, the older. So yeah, usually my parents' generation and my generation is more late marriage is increasing. And the second one is a 확대 가족. 확대, it could be a zoom or extend. So here is extended family. So in the long time ago, 확대 가족, after marriage, the kids they living together with their parents. So 조부모 is grandparents, 부모 is parents, 자녀 is kids. At least 3 generations living together. It was, but nowadays after industrialization, because of the getting a job, 취업, or study, 공부, we need the kids are usually separate, living separate from one's parents. And 핵가족, nuclear, or small family. I think small family is a more natural English, but I don't know, maybe Korean love the nuclear, so they say 핵가족. The 핵 is in our proud North Korea. They have 핵, 무기, nuclear weapon. Anyway, I don't know why they use the nuclear family, but anyway, nuclear family, 핵가족, 부모와 parents, 미혼, not married yet. kids가 함께 사는 것을 we say 핵가족. I spoke Korean, so. And this one is a new trend. We say 1인 가구. 가구 is, at some point, it is a furniture, but also, it is also family. So, one single family, like me, I, in here, in my house, living alone. So, I'm 1인 가구. And 2인 가구 could be a marriage couple, or mother and son, or father and daughter, something like that. 2인 and 3인 가구. This is a new trend, how we calculating the family types. So on our textbook, let's do it together. So here are some vocabulary that you might be wondering. And here, 1인 가구, a single person family, it is important to remember. And here, 비혼 is a one not married. 미혼 is yet married. There is a subtle difference in here. So 변화 is a transition or change. So 한국에서 결혼은 보통 usually 30세 전후, age around 30, before and after around 30. usually getting married. 최근 들어 nowadays 30대 중후반. 중 is middle, 후 is after. So middle and after age 하는 경우가 늘어나 결혼하는 연령, the age of marriage가 점점 높아지죠. becoming higher, 높아지고 있다. 과거에는 in the long time, in the past, 결혼 후에 after marriage, 부모와 같이 사는 자녀, living with the parents after marriage가 많아 조부모, grandparents, parents or sons 등의 여러 세대, many generation family 같이 모여 living together, 확대 가족 형태가 일반적. It is normal, it is usual to living three generation together, which are 확대 가족. 확대 가족. You have to remember 확대 가족. It is important keyword. 그러나 산업화와 함께 with the industrialization 큰 도시에 big city, 학교, school, company 등이 많이 생겨나면서 further 공부, study, getting a job 위해 부모와 떨어져 separate from their parents, living kids 자녀들이 increase 증가하였다. 이와 함께 along together 결혼한 자녀가 부모와 함께 사는 경우, so the kids who are married and living together with their parents 크게 drastically decrease 줄어들면서 부모와 미혼 자녀가 함께 사는 핵가족. So 확대 가족 is at least living grandparents, parents, their kids together. That is a 확대, big family. But nuclear family is a parents and yet married kids가 사는 핵가족의 모습을 usually 볼 수 있다. We can see that. 또한 also 공부나 일 등을 하는 과정에서 further study or work 결혼을 하지 않거나 not married 결혼을 하더라도 even if they married 자녀 the kids 자녀를 낳지 않고 they don't want to get in kids 살겠다는 사람이 늘어나면서 the persons who are not going to get kids have kids 이러면서 1인 가구 one person single family 부부만 is a marriage couple만 사는 비율 the ratio of a single family member or without kids couple가 증가하고 있다. So yeah, check it this one vocabulary. And second type is family culture characteristic. So yeah, I just wondering what is the Korean family's features, characteristic of Korean family cultures. Let's do it together. So take it shortly. 가족 간의 유대 관계, boundings를 중요시. I think all over the country it's the same, but yeah, the Korean state of boundaries is important. But in Czech Republic, they are also focusing more on the boundaries of family. When I see the Czech Republic here, they are more focusing on family boundaries than in my country or just my family. So 가족 구성원 간, so between the family member, the rank, grade, low를 we set distinguish the one's low, or we set a certain low to that certain position, certain person. And 사회 변동과 가족 문화에도 변동이 생김. So there is a social shift. In Korea, there is a drastic social change. Also, it influenced to the family culture. So there is a changing. So let's take it more specifically. So Korean family culture's features are 한국인은 Koreans 개인의 행복뿐만 아니라 not only person private happiness but also the family's boundaries we take it importance. So Koreans not only focusing on one's private happiness, but also we keep focusing on the family's boundaries, family matters. 그래서 명절, so holiday or 조상의 제삿날. 조상 is ancestor, 제삿날 is the day one's ancestor passed away, and we are going to doing some ritual ceremony on that day. That is 제삿날. So literal meaning of 제삿날 is the ancestor died, passed away date. But not only that date, but also we do some ritual ceremony. So usually make some food and we bowing for the ancestor. 제삿날 or the family's or the parents' birthday, and Parents' Day 되면 멀리 떨어져, living far away 있던 가족들도 한 자리, one position, getting together에 모이는 경우가 많다. I'm not sure about it. I don't agree. Because my aunts living in the Seoul, but they not usually come to Busan, but yeah, the textbook say like that. So 전통적인 한국의 가족은 traditional Korean family. So 유교 is Confucianism or 효사상, respect older, elder 등의 영향으로 we are influenced by the Confucianism or respect elderly culture. Between family member, there is 서열, order, hierarchy. 서열이나 역할. So law, there is concrete setting of one's law and the ranking hierarchy. 그러나, however, nowadays the society is changing and family types and 가치관 is a value point. So value point are 달라지면서 differentiate. They change not only family type but also the valuing point about the family. 가족 구성원의 family members, laws and family cultures, there is also following changes. 예를 들어, for example, 가족의 중요한 일을, the family's important job, important work, 남자 어른 혼자 결정하지 않고, so 남자, man, 어른, adult, 혼자, alone, 결정, decide. So in the long time ago, usually father and grandfather, they decided, they choose it, family's opinion or family's work. But nowadays it's changing as share or, so 어른 혼자 결정하지 않고 not going to decide alone of the man. 가족 구성원이 함께 의논 together discuss 의논하여 decision 결정하거나 집안일이나 육아에 집안일 is house chores affair or just small work of house cleaning or laundry something. 집안일이나 육아 caring children 부부가 함께 marriage couple together join together participate 하는 모습 등이 늘어나고 있다. So maybe in the long time ago, so housework was like a kind of the woman's job, and the nurturing baby is also woman's job. But now we changing. It is our job rather than your job. So we are going to changing. And 명절, holiday, birthday, 가족이 한 집에 모이는 대신 rather than getting together, 가족 여행을 가는 경우도 많아지고 있다. So here the 명절, so 추석, 설날, in the good meaning, so they are getting together. But another meaning is when they are getting together, we are going to take a ritual ceremony. So who made the food? Usually the woman. So yeah, to me I think it's a meaningless because our ancestor, like my grandfather and grandmother, I lived together with them, so I had the memory to them. So yeah, I agree, and I help to make the food for my grandmother and grandfather, even if they passed away. But my ancestors, I don't know who are they. So I think it's a meaningless to prepare for them food, and I don't want my mother or my grandmother preparing the food. It is difficult. So rather than take a ritual ceremony, so 가족 여행, family trip, there is more family who going to family trip rather than preparing the ritual ceremony. I totally agree. But funny thing is my mother and grandmother and my aunts, they said they gonna do it. But they hope their daughter don't want to do that. But they said I will do that. So a funny thing is, yeah. But I have dream that on the 추석 or 설날, whole family going to travel together. My family is maybe it's impossible. Anyway, there is a changing of family's culture and the value point in the family. So here, 1인 가구 증가. What kinds of changes are caused by the increasing of single family? So here, 1인분. 인분 is per person. So like me and my friend go to restaurant, there's 2 persons, so give me 2인분, 불고기 2인분 주세요. But if I go to alone or living alone, I usually order 1인분. So nowadays 1인분, a single person meal, the side dish or 한 끼. 끼 is also meal. So 한 끼, 두 끼. So we Korean say 삼시 세끼, 세끼 is 한 끼, 두 끼, 세 끼. 아침, 점심, 저녁. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, something like that. 세끼. So 끼 is a single meal. 같은 소포장, small package or small electronics, small appliance 등 1인 가구를 겨냥한 aiming at a single person family가 계속 등장. There is appear more and more the aiming, the focusing, targeting on a single person family. So the marriage age is getting late and the increase of 이혼 is a divorce, Yule is rate, so divorce rate increase. 고령화, elderly, so older civilian becoming aging and aging, so aging society 현상 등이 나타나면서 1인 가구의 비중, the portion of a single person family is increased and almost becomes 30%, almost 30%, and because of that, the house, grocery, appliance 등 산업 전반, so industrial entire, there is a big shift because of the increase of a single person family. So becoming smaller and smaller. 작은 크기의 집, small size house를 finding person이 increase and 대형마트, like a E-Mart or Home Plus, something like that. So Big Mart and convenience store, 편의점에서 혼자서 single person 간단히, simply eat, 먹을 수 있는 간편식, convenient meal의 sale, 매출이 급증, drastically increase 하였다. 작은 크기의 가전제품, small size electronics, increase and 사는 것 자체를 번거롭다 is cumbersome, irritating, 번거로워. 1인 가구를 위해 for the single person family 가전제품을 is electronics 빌려주는 lend service more increase. So the third one is how we call the family member. So here, that's all. Remember. It's super difficult. So for the test matter, just at least you need to focusing on this matter. So here, so we need to know wife is 아내, husband is 남편. So in terms of wife, how we call my husband's parents. So my husband's father, we say 시아버님, and my husband's mother, we say 시어머님. And in terms of the husband, my wife's mother, we say 장모님. My wife's father, we say 장인어른. And in terms of if your son get married, so your son's wife, it is 며느리. And if you have daughter and your daughter get married, your daughter's husband, we say 사위. So your son's wife, we say 며느리. Your daughter's husband, we say 사위. And we need to care about the in-law situation. So for example, if I get married, my mother call my wife to the 아가 or 어머마. So my wife didn't get both, no have baby, they say 아가 or you. 아가 is a baby, so yeah, my mother called my wife to the baby or new baby. 아가, and after getting kids, so 어멈 is a mother, so 어머마. So putting, if my son's name is like Dexter 어머마. And if I become a woman, I get married with my husband, my parents call my husband as 애비야. And so here the 서방 is a tricky one. So I'm man, so but if I change my gender, I become the woman, and my mother call to my husband blah blah 서방. Here the family name. So if my husband's family name is Kim, So my mother call to my husband as 김서방. Maybe my father also can call to 김서방. 김서방 is okay. So 서방 is when he call one's husband from my parents. I'm man, so it is impossible to getting a husband. But if I become a woman and my husband, to my husband, my parents call 김서방, 이서방, 손서방, something like that. 서방. Those things you need to remember here and here, and become the marriage couple. They say 여보, 당신. 여보 is a hello when you get a phone call. 여보세요. Same as 여보. So between married couple, we say 여보 and 당신. And when the couple has a kids, they say to the wife, the blah blah mother, like if my kid's name is 영빈 엄마, something like that. And another thing is we distinguish the parents. So for example, 외가 is my mother's family side. I say 외가. And my father's family side, we say 친가. So 외갓집 is my mother's side family house, and 친가집 is my father's side family house. So 외할머니 is my mother's mother. 외할아버지 is my mother's father. So mother's side. And 친할머니 is my father's mother, and 친할아버지 is my father's father. So father's side we say 친, the mother's side we say 외. And some social warriors have some negative feeling about it, because here 외 is outside, like a 외국인. 외국인 is a not outside country person, something like that. So just some people say just call 할머니, 할아버지, but I don't want to do that, because sometimes I want to distinguish my mother's mother and my father's mother. I need to distinguish that, but some people, like a social warriors, like a PC person, don't want to distinguish that. Yeah, it's personal opinion, but at least now in Korea, we distinguish the mother side and father side. I think it is not a discrimination. It is just distinguish things. So, 외가, 친가. So, at least here on the picture and this vocabulary, you need to remember. Yeah, it's too much, but think about it. Rather than this old picture, I simplify your homework. Just single one. So my wife's mother or my husband's mother and father. And how we call family member. So here 한국에서는 가족 관계, in the Korea family relationship, there is called like a nickname of the family member. So 부부 간에는 between married couple 주로 여보 당신이라 부르거나 when they has kids, like their kid's name, like Dexter's father, Dexter's mother라고 부르기도 한다. 배우자 is a spouse. 배우자의 부모님은 아버님, 어머님이라고 부르는데 다른 사람, in front of other sides 앞에서는 배우자의 부모님을 지칭할 때 아내, wife. In terms of wife, how can we call my husband's parents? We put it she. 아버지라고 하고 남편, in terms of husband, how call my wife's parents? 장인 어른 is my wife's father, and 장모님 my wife's mother 이라 부른다. 남편의 부모는 when husband parents call their new wife, so not getting a baby, they say 새 아가 has new baby, something like that. And after give birth, they call it 어머마, 아버마, 애비야라고 부른다. And wife's parents, when they call their daughter's husband, 사위. 사위 is my daughter's husband. 사위를 부를 때 사위의 성, the family name 붙여서 김서방, 이서방, 손서방이라고 부른다. For example, the family name is a park. We say 박서방이라고 한다. But nowadays, the gender equality, 양성평등 정신을 더욱 잘 실현하기 위해 아내의 가족과 남편의 가족에 대한 호칭을 없애자는 제안이 나오고 있다. There is a suggestion that don't distinguish the name, the nickname, whether father side or mother side, But my personal feeling is it is not a discrimination, but about the distinction. But yeah, some people feel uncomfortable about that distinction. So here, gender equality. I don't know. So the textbooks say like that. So here is the most difficult one, the degree of kinship. So the rule is simple. Here, the vertical we plus add 1 and the horizontal we add 2. So like here is I and my parents is vertical, so we add 1. So my parents are 일촌. So my father and me and 일촌, my mother and me is 일촌. But my father and mother, they are married, so 부부, there is a 0. They are not in the kinship, maybe starting point of the kinship. So the marriage couple is a 0, so mother, father is 0. And when it comes to the horizontal, like my brother or sister, they are 이촌. So my father, it is horizontal 1 is 일촌, and to my grandfather, so horizontal 1, horizontal 2, so 1 plus 1. So to my father and me is 이촌. Also, my brother is 이촌, and my brother's son, they are also like a vertical. So me and my brother's son is a 2 plus 1 is a 3촌, and me and my brother's sons, it is a 2, 1, 1. 2, 1, 1. So 4. 4촌. Something like that. So yeah, if you know that, it is not that difficult. So starting point is me or my wife or husband. So wife and husband, they are starting point. There is a 0 and there is a sons, like offspring. The vertical, it is add 1, and the horizontal, it is add 2. So we need to sum up the calculating. So me and parents is 일촌, me and my brother is horizontal is 이촌. So my brother's son, horizontal, is a 3, and my brother's sons is 4촌. So here, so degree of kinship. 한국에서는 가족과 친척 관계, the relationship of family, we say 촌수. So 수 is a number 1, 2, 3, 4. 촌 is a kinship. So we counting the kinship. 1촌, 2촌, 3촌, 4촌, something like that. So on our textbook say husband, wife in the same position 있다고 보기 때문에 촌수를 따지지 않는다. They don't calculating. But funny thing is some people say 님 and 남. So 님 is a dear, my lover, at least respecting. But just single put in here, when they divorce, they become 남 is others. So there is no relationship between marriage couple. And 부모 is the parents and their son 일촌, 형제자매 sibling brother is 이촌. So 내가 결혼해서 자녀를 낳았다면 나의 남동생과 내 자녀는 3촌, 4촌, something like that. And here, just read it. It's not that difficult. So the most important thing is this one. So vertical is add 1, the horizontal add 2. It is just counting the number. And more than 4촌, it is not that kinship. So maybe, yeah, for example, me, until 4촌, I consider it as a family, but more than 4촌, like 5촌 or 6촌, I don't know who are they. Just one of my family, something like that. But it's my personal opinion. So as a cultural note, there is our and what is the meaning of 식구. So yeah, we say our mother and our wife. It's funny, but if I say my mother and my wife, it feels like something selfish. If I describe my wife as she's my wife. You only have the wife? I also have wife, something like that. So like a symbol of the politeness. So we say our wife. But it doesn't mean I share my wife with others. No. But I think it's a kind of something politeness. But let's say together. 우리 is our I and you를 가리키는 표현으로 나와 이야기를 나누는 상대방, the opponent or the counterpart을 그만큼 가깝게 feeling close to them. So when describe refer to our family member, my mother, my husband, my kids 같이 우리를 많이 사용한다. So our culture and the 식구 means 한 상에서 같이 밥을 먹는 사이. So here 식사 is a meal and 구 is your mouth. So eating together, it is symbol of family. 식구, something like that. So can you understand that? As the last part, we need to fill in the blank. So look at here. 과거, in the past, it is like a 확대 가족. And the third one, after blah blah, is like a 산업화. 이후에 here, 공부, for study or getting a job. 핵가족의 형태가 increase of the smaller family, nuclear family. And this one, 한국에서는 가족과 친척을 촌수, kinship number, the counting kinship number. To the husband and wife, we never counting the kinship number. 따지지 않는다. Don't counting. The third one, 부모와 자녀, parents and their kids. The vertical is 일촌. 형제자매, sibling brothers are the horizontal is 이촌. And 형제 자매의 자녀와 내 자녀. So my brother's son is 삼촌 and my sons they are 일촌. So put together it is 사촌. So if you don't understand, take some time and reflecting about that calculation. And still, if you have difficulty to counting the number, just read the comment. Let's discuss the number. That's all for this unit 2. So what do you think about it and how the speed is it? Is it okay or too much fast or is it too slow? So if you have any question or opinion, feel free to writing a comment. And thank you and see you next class. Bye bye.